Got some real church up in here. But before we get into our topic of the day, listen, we got to ask each other, how's the day been going? How's the week? You know, it's the middle of the week. It's almost over, closer to the weekend. So we're going to start with the Lady T. How's your day been going?
The day has been productive. It went by fast. Time is flying. So, but I'm I'm here. So,
all right. Jose, how was your day? How was everything going for you, brother?
Man, the day was good. I've been excited for this day all week.
Okay.
Ready to get the devil a black eye, baby.
Rodney, what's up, brother? How you listen? And for the ones that don't know who this is my brother from another mother, the host of Dad Mentality. Yo, check him out, y'all. I'm telling you, right now he on a break. Him and his crew, they on a break right now. But listen, check him out, Dad_Mentality. I gotta tell you that.
We got great things coming up. When we get back, we're gonna start the first week of September and get everything back. You know, we take our break during the summer, spend time with our kids, and you know, spend the summer doing those things. But I got some, you know, we're gonna have some new things coming up, and I got some great guests already planned to talk about. So you know, it's gonna be a great time.
Yes,
make sure y'all come check us out.
Word, I can't wait. Listen, man. Oh man, you know my day. This is the best hour right here for me. Hour and a half or whatever. Guys, move. You know, I just love it because I get an opportunity to go home from work and go to sleep, revise. So when I come here, I'll be energized up because I'll be taking me a little nap. I'll be like, listen, I got the podcast coming. I go home and take me a nap. I sleep for maybe like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Boom.
Man, it's more than a nap. Hey, more than a nap.
Hey, check it. Hey, yeah, man. I get up at 3:00 in the morning. So when I get home, I'll be like this. Boom. I hit the bed hard, man. I don't even get nothing to eat sometimes. I just go to sleep. But yeah, enough of me. Listen, man. We gonna get up in here and listen, we jumping in this topic right here. And then we gonna let Jose tell us a little bit about himself. Well, we gonna jump in this topic first. Distraction versus awareness in a social media culture. Come on now. Listen. We gonna jump right into it because but listen, I got some questions for y'all today. We ain't gonna sit here and just be like la 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 la. Nah, some questions. So we gonna start with our guest right now. We gonna start with him. Jose, what is your number one distraction? Your number one distraction
on social media is probably seeing what I post, see if the people like it or whatnot, comments, things like that. So probably most likely a constant refresher, kind of see what's going on. I'm not big on social media at all, so I'm really just checking like the content, and maybe there's some credibility to that, right? You just want to make sure what you're doing is that I'm a personable guy, so I like to touch the people. So I want to make sure the people is receiving it and things they got to say. So yeah, that's my number one thing, and maybe watching too many crypto videos.
but why do you feel like that's a distraction?
It can be due to the fact that when you're done away with it, it stays in your mind, right? So okay. I'm big on that. I'm very in tune with my spirituality. So if I drop something physically from watching and I'm walking away having a conversation with so-and-so and that's still in my mind, it's a distraction. I'm not giving that person that's in front of me 100%, right? Because I got things in my mind, things I'm trying to work out or whatnot.
Okay. Lady T, what about yourself? What's your number one distraction?
Games. Yeah, I'm a game person. Like, I'm not a gamer like you know. Okay, let me say it like that.
She gonna throw me under the bus. Y'all can't believe.
I had to make sure I clear that up. But yeah, I do like my little games on my phone. Words with friends.
Candy Crush. Oh,
nah. Yeah, I still do that. And there's these people, I have no idea who they are. They're none of my friends on Facebook. So I'm not into social media. So I got into social media back in Facebook a few years ago. I try to, get in Facebook to, acknowledge what has been in my account or, to, view pictures or something. But I'm just, not into social people type. I'm kind of gradually getting into it, but games is my thing, my distraction.
That's your number one distraction?
My number one. And I don't even spend that much time. That's like maybe 15 minutes if I sit down every 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes it might only be twice a day, and I only do it for like an hour, twice a day. So 30 minutes a day. So my distraction is just a relaxation, but it's not really a distraction because I'm not into social, media like that. So games is the only thing, but I don't even play it that much.
Sound like Lady T ain't got no distractions.
I have them. It's people. it's people. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Oh, okay. Rodney, what's going on? What's your number one distraction?
My number one distraction is just I don't know. I scroll through social media throughout the whole day, all day. You know what I'm saying? So I say the whole thing in whole is a distraction for me. But I mean, it's not sometimes, a lot of times, I got the algorithm. So a lot of most of the content is things that I actually want to see. But every once in a while you mess around and you sit on something different for too long. And next thing you know, they're sending you 100 videos of that. So, I don't really know what's my distraction. Besides, because I look at it all, I look at it all a lot of the times, and not everything, I ain't into all that, booty shaking or whatever the case. That stuff don't really come on my joint because I skip it, I don't sit there and watch that. But I look for a lot of videos for my own purpose. So like for me, it's a lot of the clips of pastors and this, that, and other talking about specific things, and then I'll send them to myself to have for the show for content and things like that, and I can also put it on my page. But the distraction would probably be that I feel like I don't spend enough time with God, and I spend more time on social media. If I'm being 100% honest, I think I could cut back a lot of it and spend that time more with myself and God. So that'll be what I'll say.
Well, Lady T threw me under the bus earlier, so you already know what mine is. My major distraction is playing that game, and I only play one game, and it's Madden, so I don't play nothing else.
And you're not even good at it. That's the
hey, watch this. Stay in your lane because you don't even want no parts of that. But we ain't gonna get into that. You don't want no parts of that. Stop playing.
What's up, Chow Bout and Allison? Just wanted to say that real quick.
Okay, all right. Hey, what's up, crew? All right, so that was that. Now, can family be a distraction?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jose. We all Jose. So we gonna go with you first. Why would you say family can be a distraction?
I share a personal example. I got saved, right? And I had all my children early. So when I got saved, I try to change how we do things in the household. And they ain't listening to me, right? So my focus is God, they ain't listening to me. This is that. I'm getting angry, right? I'm getting tired, come home from work. I'm crying, and God told me, you can't change them. Mm-hmm. You can't change them. Stay focused on me and the purpose and plan that I have for you. Let me do that light work. And this is how he talked to me. And man, I tell you what, bro, since that day, I forgot about that. Do I continue to lift them up in prayer? Do I continue to have conversations with them as a dad? Yeah. So that was my distraction point. I was idolizing that they be saved, and I wanted to see the fruit so bad. But God said, it ain't, God's time is different. So what he tried to convey to me is like, my time is my time. You getting stressed out on things that you can't do. And then it kind of brought me back. How many people spoke to you when you was in New York, right? Going buck wild in Brooklyn. You ain't listening to them. So he kind of humbled me that way because I kept missing his plan and where he was trying to lead me. So 100%, yeah, family can be a distraction.
Yeah. Okay. Can I go next since he said because I want to say something too on that.
Go ahead.
On that aspect, my and I've talked about it freely. I brought in my niece and nephew into my house and brought them in because they was in a bad situation. And when my nephew came in, I was like, all right, well, I got you out the hood. Boom, we're gonna get you back in school. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And in daily prayer, God kept on saying to me, you're not going to see the fruit. And I was like, yo, you know, what do you mean? I got him back in school. This man got a 3.3 right now. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get that done, you know, and then next thing you know, he caught back up his grade, everything's good, and I'm still like, you know, hey, it's good, and God's still talking to me. God's still saying, you're not gonna see the fruit. And I was just like, yo, and I even told my wife, we sat down, I was like, I don't understand why God keeps on telling me I'm not gonna see the fruit. And then sure enough, you know what I'm saying? One day he goes down the wrong road, and everything that we was doing and everything we did went straight down the wrong road. And I mean, it was, you know, I'm not gonna say it was I mean, it was distracting because I was very discouraged and very bothered by it, but God had already told me, so I knew that it was still in his hands. You know what I'm saying? It was still in his hands. The whole time I thought, you know, I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It was always still in God's hands. You know, so and even now, me and my nephew, we still have a great relationship, but I already, you know, now I just know that I wasn't going to see the fruit, and I'm still going to be there for you. Anything you need, I got you as long as you doing the right thing. But I told him, until you doing the right thing, don't call me. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me. I can't be there for you until you're ready. And that's what I said. So told him, I was like, when the day you're ready to change, and the day you're tired of living this life, my door is open. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you're going to keep on going down that same road, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can do. So, you know, and that shows you how quickly, you know, how even when you really want to help somebody, you know, one, it's in God's hands. And if they don't want to help themselves, it don't matter how much you do for them. It don't matter until they are ready to do it, to change on their own, you know? So, you know, that's what I got to say about that family.
Lady.
Yeah, family definitely can be a distraction. I think there is an unintentional, possibly many times, that pulls us away from our personal purpose and calling. I mean, they, you know, we have obligations as family, right? Family expectations, but it's like it does interfere with the inner conviction that we as an individual may have. So spiritual growth is something that, you know, can be neglected through family because of obligations. But you know, it's kind of like basically taking your life and basically saying that I can manage it, you know, and say I can do this with my family and not neglect my inner stillness and my inner prayer. And that takes, you know, time. But yeah, definitely family can be a distraction, and it most of the time is unintentional. They just don't see it.
Well, I'm all in agreement with you guys, because guess what? Yes, family can be a distraction, because guess what? You know why? Because if they're not lining up with what God has for you in your life, right? Doesn't mean that you don't love them. But what happens is that the enemy can use them, because your love for them is unconditional. And so the enemy can use them to distract you, because guess what? We all four of us, I promise you, there has been a family member that has upset you, that hurt you. And guess what? And the only thing you done was show love. It doesn't make how much what you did, is because you love them unconditionally. That's your heart. So when you love them, right, and they do something to hurt you, it hurts. And so that's why it can be a distraction, because guess what? I promise you, I'm going to say me first. Guess what? When someone hurt me, I'll remember that. And I probably sometimes, until I learn how to forgive 100%, every time I see them, I got something to say. I'm like, what you want to do? I got this attitude, like, what? Get out of my face. But now it's different, because the way I think now, the rethinking of my mind, you know, and so it's important. And so I say that's why they can be a distraction, because guess what? The enemy can use them, because they're the closest. They right next to us. They right there with us. And so guess what? When they not lining up with God, guess what? I promise you, the enemy is using them. Saying something that's going to get under your skin, that's going to make you be like, oh my goodness, get you upset. They know how to push those buttons. And that's the key. So we're going to go to the next
question.
Hold on.
Let me chime something in there real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
It just like when Jesus turned around Peter, he said, get from behind thee, Satan. right? It wasn't because Peter had Satan in him. It's because Jesus had to go to the cross. So what you're telling me to do go against what the Father wants me to do. So he looked at him and said, get from behind me. I have to do this for the people. So you're right. Close people that you encounter with can be an agent of Satan.
That's it. Go ahead, Rodney. You want to say something, Rodney?
Nah, I was saying unconditional is strong. You said unconditional twice. That joint had me both times. Like, that's strong right there. I don't know about all my family is unconditional. I can't put that in. I can't put that in the air.
Well, you Rodney. When I'm like speaking to you, I'm talking about like you got kids and a wife. So that's what I'm like. Our extended family is something different, but I'm talking about when you got a family. Listen, they can get under your skin too because they're not. Look, God has a task for you as a father, as a husband. You're the leader, and so guess what? If you're not lining up with God, guess what? It's gonna be some confusion. It's gonna be a bumpy road, and then guess what? In that bumpy road, they're gonna say things that's gonna get you upset, and then your response is not going to be the order that God has for you. It's not. Your response is not, because guess what? You in a place where there's confusion with the family because everybody's not lining up. Everybody not doing the same thing. They're not on the same page. But we're gonna go to the next question. We're gonna start with you, Lady T, this time. How are you protecting your surroundings when you are not focused on your purpose?
How am I protecting my surroundings when I am not focused on my purpose?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense because if I'm not focused, I'm not really protecting my surroundings. But I kind of understand it.
All right, so you want me to elaborate on it so you can understand it better?
Yes, please.
Okay, so in other words, if you're not distracted, you're focused on your purpose. Mm-hmm. But if you're distracted, how are you protecting your surroundings when you're not focused?
I would think of, awareness, being aware of my surroundings, paying attention to my thoughts and emotions, and intentional mindfulness, being centered, looking at myself to know I'm not anxious of anything. I'm not really losing time and not losing, any type of, what I'll say, energy to do what I'm supposed to do. So it's basically being mindful of what I am doing in this moment, whatever the moment is. I'm paying attention, being mindful, being aware, looking at what I need to do, paying attention to who's interrupting or trying to interrupt, things like that is mindfulness. And once you're mindful of what you intend to do, then, you won't really allow distractions. What I do, I'm going to tell you for me personally. So lately, for the past, we'll say months, I've turned my phone off. I have to turn my phone off. My phone has to be powered off and any other electronic that's connected to my phone, because I need to not hear anything. There has to be total peace. There has to be silence. There has to be no interruption for me to have my focus. That is really being aware of my surroundings and paying attention that I need to have focus. So that's what I need to do, because the phone is a big distraction. And that's probably the biggest distraction for myself is the phone. I'll say that because it's not, I won't say it. I mean, I do spend some time with playing my game, and I don't even watch television. People will be like, oh, did you see this? And I'm trying to catch up because I'm so late in a lot of the shows and stuff. I just don't watch TV that much. But to turn my phone off and to just focus, that's what makes me just be able to just not be distracted. And I'll take the time, whatever amount of time I need to, do what I'm supposed to do and fulfill that purpose, because I turned my phone off.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jose? Well, let me read the question again. How are you protecting your surroundings when you are not focused on your purpose?
I put a video up not too long ago. It was titled "Distracted Saints Become Compromised Saints." Right? See, right. Unbeknownly to a lot of believers, when we say yes to Christ, we enlisted ourselves in the war as a soldier, according to the word of Paul, right? So if we say yes to Christ, the enemy is our target. So if we don't know that we need to put more word in us instead of, in dealings of the word, we'll become a victim, right? We cry victim and all this. So to me, distractions is real, man. It's real. It will lead you down a path, right? Nobody wakes up the day and says, I'm gonna be a cokehead, I'm gonna be a dopehead. It started with a distraction. It started with a nice party. It started with trauma. Trauma is a distraction, right? How many people feel they got saved and delivered from God, and then one day they reminded by the devil of what happened to them, and then they dwell on that thought, right? And now
one day, it's almost every day. Hold on, but go ahead. I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Amen, brother. I appreciate your honesty, but you know that's how it be, though, man. Our own thoughts could be distracting, man. Let's go back to Genesis when the father pulled up and he said, "Adam, where you at? I'm over here. Why you hiding? I'm naked." He said, "Who told you that? Who told you was naked? Distracted. He hiding from God. He being distracted because the voice of the enemy." He said, "So it's the same thing with us today. Who telling us that we you know, God knows what nowadays is out there? Like, who's saying these things, right?" So I'm a firm believer, man. If you're not putting God's promises and speaking that over your life, then you're distracted.
All right, Roddy, your turn.
I don't know how to follow that. I had something else to say that was totally off. Now I'm trying to refocus on that. But I like you said, I feel distractions is part of my daily life. Like, you know, and the thing about it, if you're not being distracted, then apparently you walking with the devil anyway, in my opinion. You know, but that's what he wants you to do. That's what you know, he wants to happen, that you're not focused on God or focused on the purpose or focused on the things that you're supposed to be doing, and bringing these distractions in. And like I said, I believe that the devil will use anyone or anything, you know what I'm saying, and just bring it to you to get you into anything. And the other thing is that the devil's been doing this for a long time. And he knows the things to distract you. He knows the things that can easily get you knocked off, whether it be a family member or something like that. I wanted to shout out to Jenna here, who said that, you know, she had to cut off all her family. And when you said unconditional love, I still was thrown off by that, because I'm like, yo, maybe unconditional love, but I don't know. I got conditions sometimes. I'm gonna let you go. Like, I can't say that everybody is going to receive all the love I got, because some people don't deserve it. Like, they're going to misuse it anyway. So why am I going to give it to you? That don't mean I don't. I guess that don't mean I don't love them. It just mean I ain't going to give them something they're going to misuse. You know what I'm saying? So I guess. But then, you know, we already know I struggle with forgiveness and all that too, and petty is petty, so I'm good with that too. But I just don't feel that, you know, I just don't know, and maybe that's just another distraction. But I'm not going to let nobody distract me. If you're not working towards, just like I said with my nephew, I do love him, but if he's not working towards the purpose that I need him to be working, then I don't need to be around him or in any of those situations. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that don't mean I don't love him. So I guess you're right. Or, you know, I'm just trying to process it all right here. But so there you go.
So for me, you know, how protect my my surroundings. So what happens, there's a song that Fred Hammond sings, is build a fence around me. So what I have done is built a fence around me. And guess what? There's only one entrance in that fence. And guess what? I protect myself by allowing certain ones to come in, because guess what? If they're not in the alignment of what they're supposed to be in life and my calling or my life, guess what? They can't come into that circle. Yeah, they can come to the fence, but they can't come into that circle. They can't come into that circle, because guess what? I see the real them. I see the spirit that they carry. This ain't no just a joke. This is for me. Everybody not like that. So I have a fence around me, and guess what? I'm protected. And guess what? I know the hidden agendas that they have, because guess what? There's a conversation we got to have. Before they come into that fence, we got to have a conversation. And that conversation is just not just one little conversation. It's got to be constant because I have to see the fruits of that tree that they bearing. I got to see that. And so guess what? There are people in my life that's in my circle. Guess what? I got to know them before I allow them. And I wanted them to do the same thing for me. Get to know me. Get to know the real Chef Dennis. And then you can make your assessment and say, you know what? I love being around Dennis. And vice versa. They could say the same thing. So that's how I protect my surroundings, is because guess what? There's a fence built around me. And in that fence, guess what? God sent me the people that's supposed to come to me for a season. And then also he sends the people that's supposed to come to me just a lifetime.
Let me ask you a question. So once this individual, kind of passed through the threshold of the fence, that's when you cook up that meal for them?
Oh yeah, ask Rodney. Right, but listen, it's crazy that you said that, Jose, because you know what, Rodney became a brother quick and expediently. I'm serious. Yeah. Like he had to listen. He said he looked at my show a couple of times, but guess what? He had to see something about me that said, you know what? I'm allowing this man to come around my family. Like it does, and that, like, this ain't just to be bragging it like that, but that's exactly how I am. Is guess what? You gotta show me the real you. I'm not all that fake stuff. I gotta see the real you. And there's questions I'm gonna ask. And I know Rodney said the same thing. He got to see me because guess what? I could have been a man that's with lies, filthiness, and guess what? Came around his family and bamboozled them. They came to Jersey or New York, and he didn't. Like I said, I could have been like this sheep in wolf clothing. Yeah, I mean this wolf. And sheep clothing. My bad, I said the wrong thing. Yeah, but that's what I could have been. But guess what? He had to really get to know me and talk with me, be on the show and get to know me. And so that's how some people can do. Lady T, you want to say something?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Lady T, let you want to say so. Let me go to the next question. What causes you to be aware of your intake of what you watch? Jose, I'm gonna go with you. What causes you to be aware of your intake of what you watch?
Anything that blaspheme God. Anything that I set my eye. Like, I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm with Lady T on that. I mean, I got work, I got ministry, I got study time, I got family. I don't have no time to sit down and watch TV. I mean, that's how it is, bro. I don't care to watch TV. Like, it's not like there's something pulling at me like, oh, you missed. No, I don't miss none of it. So if I did watch something though that I thought possibly was that I could sit in front of, and I see something that blasphemed God, which is a lot. That's what's going on in many movies and shows and whatnot. Here's the thing, man. I learned to be a spiritual person. Really, when I got saved, I think that's what the only thing that changed about me was my spirituality and my senses, right? So the thing is, if we could sit down and watch a show that has homosexuality, and we could sit down and show that has drugs involved in and fornication and all that, and that's pleasing to us, we partner with the devil. I mean, it just makes sense. Like, why would you sit there, watch that, go to sleep, read your word in the morning? That has nothing to do with that. I mean, come on, it don't make no sense to me. I mean, that's hypocritical. And I think if the Lord could say anything to believers who operate that way, he'll say, stop, wake up, be real. Man, let me tell you something. I was willing to die in them streets. That's how real I was to my right-hand man, forsaking my family, forsaking my 3 children. Like, that's my right hand. I ain't got nothing to do with bro, but I'm gonna ride with you, right? So I was real to that. So I think, and that's why I told Rodney earlier, I had a Saul to Damascus moment, right? The road to Damascus, like, that's how I met God. So God was like, man, if I could take that man that I created, put my spirit in him, he'll be sold out for me. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. I remember coming home from prison, and my right hand man, the dude I was gonna die with out in them streets, I got problems with these dudes. I said, bro, listen, man, if you ain't coming to church with me or we ain't working out together, we got to separate. We got to separate, man. So anything that's going to stand against who saved my life, who pulled me out of the pit, who set me up on high like he did Job, if Job would have knew what God was doing, I bet he wouldn't argue. He was putting up as a trophy and telling the devil, look, what I created out of dirt still going to praise me despite how you might but despite
afflict him,
mm-hmm. Right? So yeah, that's what it is, man. But and I think for me, even when I speak a lot, I'm misunderstood because some people would judge that and say, oh, he's self-righteous. No, it ain't. It's just a heart. Because I could connect with people. But here's the thing, man. When I'm growing up and you tell people, man, how you doing? Maintaining what? What are you maintaining? You in the hood. You ain't got nothing. What are you maintaining? So what I try to do, come in a situation, I speak life and I give my story. Man, I tell people the bottom of where I was at. And I don't get ashamed because for me to shame my old lifestyle is to glorify God. And that's how I win it with people because they're like, man, I didn't do the nasty of things that this man did, but somehow he's walking in freedom. Somehow he's walking in love. Somehow he's connected to me, right? So, when I think of things that I try to put myself in front of that is gonna steer me away from God, I just avoid it, man.
Oh, okay. Rodney, what about you?
What was I got distracted because when he said something came right to me that I had just thought I just seen or was discussing with somebody. So, but go ahead. What was the question again? I apologize.
What causes you to be aware of your intake of what you watch? What causes you to be aware?
I mean, because once you I don't have patience for all that other stuff. Like I'm not. It just doesn't push me in the way. So, whenever I see something or, my daughter watches those shows like Love Island or I'm thank God not that. I can't take that at all either. But, like Love Island and stuff like that. And I look at it and I'm like, yo, like, why? But now I did want to say this to Jose is that, but sometimes you got to watch, even when you're watching these supposed Christian-based or what you call it, man, there's a lot of trickery in that too. It's a lot of things in those shows, and even watching these pastors and things like that. Like I had a guy that I followed for a while, but then after a while, when I started really looking at what he was saying, I was like, hold up, that ain't right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hold up, what he say? You know what I'm saying? And then I started looking further, and then I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and unfollow him. And he's a well-known, TikTok pastor that has those moments where it's all, bringing on, doing the whole popping show and this, that, and the other. But then I was like, hold on, that ain't right. What he's saying ain't right. So, you got to be careful of that too.
Right, 100%, bro.
Because you definitely think you can be, you think you're doing the right thing. Like if I'm gonna absorb something, I want to absorb something that's Christ is going to teach me something new. That's taking the Bible, but you got to be careful with that too. And then and the thing about it is when you see it, you got to be well versed or well comfortable with your walk and your conversation with God to know that this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't it. So yeah, so for me, I just don't got the patience. Y'all see how open and honest I am about anything we talk about here. You think it's different in my house? Chef Dennis hung out with me for real. You know what I'm saying? And even though my father-in-law wanted him to go and be his new son-in-law, I still be honest and truthful about everything that's going on. Like one thing about me is you're gonna get the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like how I feel, what I think, and we ain't gotta agree and this, that, and the other. But I mean, the great thing about it is the pastor of my church and things like that. We talk about these things. We have these conversations. We have things called tough talk. where we come in and we talk about, because you know, you go into church and I'm not going to say that my pastor sugarcoats a lot of things, because he doesn't really sugarcoat it, but he's not going to talk explicitly about pornography. You know what I'm saying, on a Sunday pulpit. Now, when we in Tough Talk, we will. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're not. When we're in these things, he comes in there and he has the verses and he's ready to discuss all those things and have those deep conversations. And I feel that, you know, we as Christians, there's a lot of those pastors that are just giving story time. You know, story time, you know, and I'll even say the biggest one, like, you know, I don't know if you want me to say it on your platform, but his name starts with a J and an O. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, it's a good thing. I listen to him too, because it's very uplifting and powerful. But let's get, like you said, Jose, we in a war. Right. Like, you know, we need to talk about this war stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Not just all like, oh, pat your back, it's all going to be great. All you got to do is give me $5.99. You know what I'm saying? type ministry. You know what I'm saying? We need those guys that's really in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? And talking about that. And sometimes for me, that's what I like to talk to. You know what I'm saying? You know, every once in a while, I like a pep talk too. But for the most part, I want to talk to the people in the trenches. I don't want to talk to the guy who's sitting on his jet just talking about everything's great. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. That's it. I think I answered the question. I don't really remember.
Lady T, yours gonna be quick. What about you, Lady T?
No,
it don't gotta be quick. It don't gotta be quick, Lady T. Don't let him shorten. Don't let him speak that against you. You talking much more.
Lady T, but you don't know why I said that. You don't know why I said it.
Don't.
All right, so I said it because I said, what causes you to be aware of what you intake and what you watch? And you don't watch TV. That's why.
Whatever.
I love you. Still be watching these.
Oh, she ain't watching no streets either. Go ahead, though, Lady T. I was just joking.
If she watching that work might be crazy too.
Yeah, work is definitely crazy. But I think I think I pay attention to what's important and, you know, what appears urgent but really isn't, and, you know, paying attention to, you know, focus and staying aware. Yes, you're right. This topic, this is very easy kind of for me, because I do have an awareness that is very strong. I pay attention. I don't allow a lot of distractions, because I've gone through this life trying to, you know, make sure I do my purpose in life. And I have to, you know, put people or situations to the side. So yes, you're right. It was a very quick answer.
Right, Roddy about to go. He about to go. Yo, man, what are you talking about? But no, mine's real quick too. The one thing about me is that, you know, the things that I watch is like my spiritual sister always get on my case, and like I said, I'm transparent. Listen, I watch horror movies that don't affect me. You know what I'm saying? I like that it does. It's not intriguing. It's not like, oh, I gotta watch it. I watch it once in a while, but you know, but. The reason why I said that is because, you know, the things that I watch on social media, God, you know, is definitely working on my heart. A lot of things that I watch, it makes me tear up and cry. The reason why is because it's the sentiment feeling that I receive when I watch it. Like, we did a video of this young man. Let me tell you something. He had what he have, Lady T? He was in a wheelchair. He really couldn't talk. Cerebral palsy.
Cerebral
palsy. And listen, let me tell you something. The way they was talking about him and how he was talking about God, it really touched me. You know, I had to share that, you know, video with the clip and everything, is because, you know what, man, how can a young man like that?
Oh man, don't act like you know how to. You on a podcast, got your phone ringing. What's going on?
Want to serve God in that capacity. It truly is something that was encouraging, as well as, you know, when a father is in the military and he comes back home and he comes back home to his family and they don't expect him to come back and he surprises them. That things like that, you know, real touching, real sentimental to me, because you know what, it shows how, you know, the love that they have for one another. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about love. So these are the things that I watch and always trying to, you know, figure out why people do the things that they do. And that's why I always talk about love, unconditional, having that unconditional love.
Yeah, I skip right past that.
Don't worry, I got something for you later on.
Right past that.
For you.
Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why you got unconditional love, because I'll be
what challenges prepare you for your purpose? Lady T, what challenges prepare you for your purpose? Because there is some challenges that we have. It's directed to the purpose of your life and why you go through it. So what prepped you up for those challenges?
People. I've had issues with people. I have to talk to people. I have to respond to people. I have to react to people, and I have my own emotions and I have to deal with their emotions. So it is a people thing. It's a relational thing for me. It is, you know, walking out the door or answering my phone and having a conversation with another person because they have issues of their own that they're putting in me to have to address or have to communicate. People like to come to me and have, you know, hey girl, let me tell you what happened, you know, or what's up, girl? Let me tell you what happened. I have men and women want to talk about issues that they have. So I feel like people are the thing that I have to learn because they have emotions. I have emotions, and we're having to have this conversation, dialogue that I can understand where they're coming from, respect where they're coming from, and give them some type of empathy, give them some type of kindness and care, you know, some type of compassion. And a lot of times I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it, you know, because I have my own issues that I'm dealing with. So it is a relational thing for me. It is anything of, you know, the world or, you know, buying or, you know, material stuff like type of thing. It is a relational thing for me.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jose?
Repeat the question, CD.
What challenges prepped you up for your purpose?
Man, my whole life.
But I know it's something as you looked over your life, right? There are some things that you had to go through, and once you went through it, you know how to navigate when it comes against you again. So what are those challenges? What were those challenges? That's what I mean. That prepped you up because of awareness now, because you know now of what you've been through, you more aware of what's going on. And so when it comes against you, you know how to handle it.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's my old life. And then when you get tempted with these things, I recognize where it stems from, right? So it is awareness. Awareness is a huge piece in that part. But how many times you know that you could be aware of something and not know how to manage it, right? Not know how to deal with the situation. So there's many times that, you know, before living for God, I'd be tempted to go get high, knowing the outcome. I'm gonna be going in the streets for 5 days. I ain't coming home. I'm aware that I ain't going home, but I still did it. So you fast forward now, when I got Christ in my life, the couple times that I did get tempted to go get high and disappear, I used the word, right? So now I'm aware that I am being tempted. How do I counteract that, right? So I think the huge part in that is awareness, and then put into practice what works after you were aware. And you know, and there's other examples than that, right? That's porn, that's lust, that's all these other things that go against the nature of God and the way God wants. But are we robots that we're not gonna feel that? No. Right? There could be a woman walk by and the mind quickly just goes there. I have to look away. Because I'm aware that if I stare too long, all I'm saying is, if I had an opportunity to sleep with her, I will. Like, we partner with that. That's why Jesus said, when you look at a woman with lust, you could already committed adultery. He got to the root of the problem. We fantasize. we use our mind and we strip down and we put ourselves there mentally and emotionally, right? So the thing is awareness, and then once again, awareness, and then whatever it is from that awareness, that work that keeps you from going back to that, you constantly will, you put that forth and use that.
All right, Rodney, your turn.
Hey man, I'm gonna use my man Jose's saying earlier. My life is a parable.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like the things that I have done and been through, it's only by the grace of God I'm still alive. It's only by the grace of God I able to be. I still remember my 8th grade teacher coming to see me at my own business. I own my own business and was running. She said, "I can't believe you became a law-abiding citizen." And I said, "You won't even believe that I even pay my taxes too." She was like, "Yo, there was no way." In the 8th grade, I was kicked out of 3 schools. I was in 8th grade, stealing teachers' cars. I was doing all kinds of craziness because, my father passed away and I was angry. You know what I'm saying? It took me lots of therapy and things to learn all those things. But, and then the second thing is once you live that life for so long and God delivers you, you don't want to go back. It ain't nothing about my past I want to go do again. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. And people say, "Oh, you was doing this, you was doing that." Looked like you was having a great time. But in reality, I was lost. Right. You know what I'm saying? In reality, I was lost. I was doing those things because I wanted to, because I was angry, because I was, all these other things. And now, like I said, it's been a time I had a young lady walk up to me that I couldn't remember her, but she was angry, and I had to look at her and tell her, I was like, I'm going to apologize because whatever I did to you, I'm not that person anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy who did whatever it is I did, and we were in a party situation, so I was like, "I'll buy you a drink." Like, I don't even know before you start going off. I don't even know what happened. So, I mean, for me to be this person I am now, I went through a journey. Now remember the saying, if people knew how much violence it took for me to be this loving, it would be amazing. They wouldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? How much violence it took for me to be this way. People see me now and I'm loving, I'm caring, I'll give you the shirt off my back, this, that, and the other, but you have no idea.
That's unconditional love right there.
You have no, I don't know about unconditional. Nah, it's still conditions. We still gonna say that. But, people don't understand that, like, people like us, and I'm sure Jose, he did time in prison, stuff like that. Like, we all, like, there was violence. It was our childhood and past without God was violent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't roses. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. So, if people knew how much violence it took for me to be this loving, it's crazy. So, but yeah, I think I answered the question.
Right. Well, my biggest thing was being humble. That was my biggest thing. Just being humble. Like just being humble on a level like no other. I had to be put in situations. That's how I recognize it, that I wasn't humble. I had to say what I was going to say, and that was it. And we could fight it. If you want to fight, we could do it. That's how it was for me. And God, my greatest task was my job. I was working. At that time, I've been at my job for 18 years, going to 19 years, right? And so I was 30. Like, I was on fire. Like, what's up? I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do whatever, right? So I was working with people that were much older than me. So I was quick to say, "What's up?" Ready to fight, right? Instead of being like that, God had to humble me. And so how he humbled me, I had to go to the same. God said he'll make your enemies your footstool. And so the people that I was making uneasy, talking to them bad, those are the same people that kicked my back in at first. And then God had to allow me to be humbled. So I had to go to them, speak to them in a certain manner, and treat them with kindness. And guess what? I had to go through that, and it teach me how to be humble now. Even now at this age right now, 48 years old, I still had to be humble. And sometimes when I'm saying something I'm incorrect and somebody bring it to my attention, I gotta be like, oh, yo, I was wrong, my bad. And don't think nothing of it. When I'm wrong, I gotta go back to that person and say, you know what, I was wrong. You know what, and just to be just to be transparent with you, when I was, like I said, I was 30. I used to say this. This is what I used to say. This should show you how I've grown. The Lincoln Tunnel and the Holland Tunnel is not underwater. Guess what? They used to clown me because I said that's stupidity. That's dumb. It is. It's a tunnel. It's underwater. And we argued about that. I had to humble myself. And now watch this.
Not all tunnels underwater. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Listen to what I said. Lincoln Tunnel and the Holland Tunnel is underwater. Okay. 5 years later, I had to go back to that person and say, you know what? I was wrong. It took 5 years for me to go back to that person and tell them I was wrong because that was processing. I was processing how to become humble. And, that was hard. That was a challenge because guess what? I was like, man, I'm not going back to tell that person. That was my disobedience to what God wanted me to do. So I struggled with that. That's why I said that was my greatest.
Lady T, that makes a lot of sense to me now. Now it's clearing why he always argues about things that he's wrong about.
He does it for a long time until
won't let it go either.
Right.
Now clarity is starting to come.
Hey, Jose.
I'm glad we can.
I'm gonna let you finish. You finish? Guess what? The same two people pointing the finger said, "I don't do." Guess what? They got 3 fingers pointing at themselves. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror.
Hold on, sir. I didn't point no fingers. I agreed with what you said.
Yeah,
so sense. Therefore there was no fingers pointed.
Yes, you are. You point at me.
No,
now it makes sense.
I agreed with you just said what you said that you had. It took you 5 years just to admit something that was very simple.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? So
that was the challenge. See, that's the point. That was the challenge. Is just recognizing
to fix that too.
Recognizing how to be humble. You know what I'm saying? And that was the biggest thing for me. And then my dad say now he be like, "Oh, yo, take off your concrete boots." And the reason why, I'm gonna tell you. And look, it's like when he say that, I take this wall down. I'll be like, all right, let me listen. Let me absorb it. And the reason why he tell me to take off my concrete boots is because I'll be standing so firm that I'm not listening to the other person. So guess what? This is transparency. But some people can't do this. This is me and my growth. And guess what? And that's what I had to do. When he say that to me, the moment he say that to me, I say, I bring it down for a minute. I open up my ears. I listen so I can receive what he needs to tell me at that moment. Because guess what? God may be using him at that moment or the other person to tell me, listen, you got to work on this. This you got to do. And so those are my greatest challenges is recognizing those things. That's why I said what challenges prepped you up for your purpose. And this is prepping me. This has prepped me up for my purpose because guess what? I'm going to tell you something. Humbleness is not easy. You got to be humble because even when you want to express how you feel on the inside, you got to be humble enough to say, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing.
That's deep. I kind of had that today with some dude I work with. It's kind of knowing being around him, but I don't want to speak on emotions too prematurely. So, like you said, I just humble. I don't want to speak ahead because tomorrow might be different. And then whatever I already put out there, guess what? It's a done deal. So let me just hold that down and hoping tomorrow be better. And not saying that you shouldn't say something, but sometimes I know to be emotions deceiving. Just because you feel that way doesn't mean you react to it.
Right. The next question is when pain makes you silent, what's the medicine for your healing? Rodney, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with Rodney first. When pain makes you silent, what's the medicine for your healing?
Prayer. I mean, that to me, when pain makes me silent, if anything makes me silent, I know I need to pray about it. You know, silence is not something I'm good at. So therefore, but yeah, when pain makes me silent, I mean, prayer is what I need to do. And I really don't have more to that. I don't even know how to elaborate that anymore. I mean, but prayer is my guide through pain. In this point juncture in my life when things are not going the way, and then also I get a lot of understanding to knowing that God has a funny way for me personally to show me that He's still in control. You know what I'm saying? To show me that when things are going bad and I'm not having that understanding of why this is happening, why this is working, or this, that, and the other, then God has a weird. It's not going. I'm not even going to say it's weird because He does. At this point in the last 2 years, He's been doing it all the time now. You know what I'm saying? When things happen recently, just like I left my job and I was worried about it and thinking about it and praying about it, and then next thing you know, that God just showed me that He was still in control, and then when that happens, it's usually I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna keep it moving and just let you do let you do what you do, because I know at the end it's gonna work out great. There's no way I thought if you had asked me 2 years ago, if you had told me 2 years ago I would be working where I'm working right now, I would have told you there's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. And but now I'm here and I see it to be what is going to guide me for the next step. Now I'm starting to see what God has been preparing me for. You know what I'm saying? So there you go.
Lady T.
I agree. Prayer is definitely it. Is be still and know that I am God. That is the scripture that you have to sometimes keep in your heart, and you have to be silent and let God's word sit into your heart, go into your scriptures. It's spirit led type of thing. It's more like, letting the Holy Spirit work into you. You can have time of worship. You can have time to just really focus on what God has for you. But prayer is that, it's basically taking time to just sit back and watch God see what He does and see how it unfolds for you. And pain is always going to hurt, but when you endure, you're going to feel much better afterwards, because it has to be there. It's pain in life. There's no way you can get away from pain, and pain only brings an abundance, perseverance. You can make it through, and you have to stand still. You have to trust. You have to surrender. You have to do all the things that says the divine spirit of God is going to work this situation out. You have to have faith. There are so many things that you have to do spiritually to not be moved, when you are going through pain. And that is something that takes dedication. If you are dedicated to staying focused on your spiritual growth, you will grow and you will come out of that pain and you will be like a diamond. You went through a fire, you went through a refining, and that's something that can happen only if you endure.
All right, Jose, your turn.
Man, where's Lady T Pulpit at, man? I want to.
I tell you, dog, get that collection plate ready, dog. You got to get that when Lady T go. You got to get that collection plate ready.
Hey, man, probably unpopular for most men. There's two kind of versions of me. Pain back then, I used to just numb it, drink, hang out, ignore it, right? And we kind of know what happens with that. Now, tears, bro, straight up tears, man. And the content behind that is, man, I remember being grieved, like feeling people's pain to the point like I didn't want to know what to do with it. Me and my wife, we was in IKEA down in Atlanta. And this is the second time this happened to me, where we just, in IKEA, kind of normal people do, just doing our thing. And I just feel something come over me, man. I'm like, yo, when we go home, I got to worship and cry. I don't know what is it. It's almost just like the filth of the city was just on me, right? And I kind of felt God's pain, but I say anything in life, whether family, children, death. To me, I think the way I would handle that is straight up tears, man. Just kind of bringing that out of me, and just to know that what the scripture says, that when we don't know what to say, right? You got Rodney and Lady T say prayer, but the scripture says that when we don't know what to pray, the Holy Spirit intercedes for us with moans and utterance, right? So those moments I had, it's just like, like just wailing and I don't even know why I'm doing it, right? I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why God decided to use those moments, but it was I was being led to do it, and I just did it, and for one reason, and I'm hoping that my grandmother is in heaven due to that. A couple days before she died, I was in the shower, and I'm like, man, I had that feeling come over me, and I'm just hoping that she was there, because from what I know, she didn't know God. She was playing with things, witchcraft, Santeria, and all that, and kind of got the family exposed to that. So it could have been that moment right there where God used me as a vessel to intercede for her, so her soul could be saved, right? So how I deal with that, how I deal with pain right now, is straight up tears.
Okay, Rodney.
All right, answer, dog. I was first.
You answer?
Yeah, he was first.
You might want to keep up with your show, man.
Oh, my bad. Boy, this way.
Yeah,
Jose, no, he's stay on me. He's like,
need it
all the way.
No, that's my love. I love it. I don't get mad. I don't get upset. But my silence is this. Me, like, I don't really get silence. What I do is I worship. I'm a big worshiper. So I get into my place. I can be in my car, blasting my music. I don't care. Just like I used to blast all that other stuff, I blast my gospel. I get into that worship. I'm singing. Sometimes just like right now, like I just prepare to receive the Holy Spirit. So that's my biggest thing. When I'm in pain, that's what I do. I worship. I just get in a real good worship, and I just start singing. I was just crying, and God will send the right message to me. The song that will touch my spirit, and it gets me, it brings joy to me in the midst of my pain. You know what I'm saying? And that's because, I experienced that when I was going through fasting and tarrying for different things. Guess what? It was worship. Some people don't even do that. It's your worship. Man, listen, there's a thing that they used to say in older times. When the praises go up, the blessings come down. And so you gotta get in a place of worship. People don't worship no more like they used to. And I'm keeping it real, because guess what? You don't got to go to church to worship. You can worship in your home. You can worship in your car. You can worship with your friends. Just get in a place and just start to worship. And I guarantee you it do something for you. It moves differently for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I get into that worship. Man,
to me, it feels cleansing. It feels, you get a good worship, but all that stuff comes in that worship session too. I ain't gonna lie, I'll be crying too. I'll be
you got it, because guess what? And you know what? The crying, look, for some, the crying is reminiscing about how God brought you from the darkness to the marvelous light. That's the crying. You like, oh my goodness, he loved me that much. Look what he did. I could have been in this place. I could have been this. But he said, no, I want something better for you. I got something better for you. And so that's where you're crying. That's where your love coming at. It start pouring in on you. You be like, oh my goodness. Oh man. And that was some tears coming out.
I'm still working on that.
Hey, look, it's a
still working on it.
It's a process, brother.
That's it. It's a process.
Yeah, I'm still working on it, because it be, I be in, I don't know. I guess for me, it's in public places that bother me. I guess it's still that because it's a lot of vulnerability in that, man. It's a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's tough, because I'm not gonna lie. My wife be late every time. I'll be glad. I ain't gonna say glad. I hate saying stuff like that. I'm sorry, but I be like, yeah, but so because praise and worship at the beginning of the church, sometimes that joint is vulnerable, dog. It is very, very vulnerable, and sometimes I'm okay. We skipped it. You know what I'm saying? Because, but you know, it's something I'm working on, man. I'm trying to be better. I'm listening to Jose here, and you know, is motivate me to be better. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you, brother. That's the plan, man.
That's
That's
it.
the plan, man.
Sure.
All right, next question. We got 3 more. How do you stay productive and motivated all day? We go on, Jose. You first. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I say joy, being grateful, just looking back at my past, right? I try to take those moments. And even in my past, there's somebody had it worse than me, right? So I think just being appreciative of where I'm at now in life, and you know, things come to mind to find and complain about, and that's the little battle. But so the morning, it depends how the morning start off. The morning got to start off with worship, right? You stepping into things, you stepping around people that don't have the right intentions and motives, right? So you need to prepare yourself, right? Put the word in you and kind of go forth. So that's how I deal with that. It's just the joy of the Lord. I try to carry that, man. I try to carry that because I learned to forsake the things I want in my life. Like, I mean, at work, I look foolish to see somebody smile. And to be honest, Chef Dennis, I've been like that when I was in the world. Like, I just doing silly stuff just to see people smile. That'll make my day. Like, how much more now is that important, right? So I just try to stay committed to the joy that's entrusted in me, right? And kind of manage that well.
Okay. All right. Lady T.
I'm the same. It's a gratefulness. It's a joy. It's something that, you know what God brought you through. You know your journey and how you're so grateful for all that he's done and all that you have and everything. There's a gratefulness and the joy that will always remain, and nothing can move you because you've gone through so much. Like our journey, if you see your own journey, we've had a lot of, hurt things that we've done and said to other people. We've been mean. I've been mean. I know I've been a mean person, and all the things that happened, God kept me. God, was always with me. He still loved me. He wanted to be with me. He still provided. And so I'm supposed to do the same thing, and that's what makes me feel like, you know what, God, you are always there. I have joy in my heart. So joy and gratefulness. I completely agree with Jose.
Okay. Rodney, go ahead.
Well, for me to keep it the whole day, I got to start off in the right frame of mind, and waking up in prayer and meditation before I even get my day started really helps me set that, because I've learned that what I start my day off seems to be my consistency. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there was the one point in time, and I even realized it, to be honest, so when I go to work, I'm in there before everybody else. I'll put on the Christian music and everything, have it blasting, this, that, and the other. With this one day, I decided to put on Kendrick Lamar. And I started my day with Kendrick Lamar, and then I noticed the whole day I was petty to everybody. You know what I'm saying? The whole day I felt like I was on get back the whole day. Like anything anybody said to me, I had something to say back. You know what I'm saying? And I, like, halfway through, I noticed, I was like, what's going on here? Like, why am I acting like this? Let me rein this in. I don't even know why I brought up, but it's kind of like what Chef Dennis said, what you feed your soul, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's what's going to come out. What you eating is what's going to come out. And don't get me wrong, I still like Kendrick Lamar and this, that, and the other, but I've learned that, I can only take a little bit at a time. You know what I'm saying? A little bit at a time, opposed to, starting my day, listen to the whole GNX album. I can't do that, So, but but then when I started with the gospel and things like that, and started with the prayer and the meditation and everything like that, it becomes my day. You know what I'm saying? I'm already set in the right place to start my day off. And and that's how I keep it throughout the entire day.
For me, how I stay productive and motivated, like I told you earlier, I just said it, but it just so happened. When I get ready to go to work, I feel my gospel, or I'm listening to inspirational speakers. They just multiple people that's just say things that's motivating, that's inspirational. It's like a quick speech, so it's multiple people just talking, and you just listen, and it inspires me and it keeps me focused. That's how I start my day. I work at 5 a.m, I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Once I get in the car, the whole ride is just motivational. If not, that is worship. And that keeps me motivated and productive during the course of the day, as well as me going to work, and then I play gospel music. So we have an understanding at my job is that from 5 o'clock to 7 a.m. is gospel time. After that, no, I'm serious. After that is the Spanish time. They play their Spanish music, and I'm gone. I'm done. My work is done. You
Hey, Ronnie, that sounds like a controlled environment, huh?
Nah, hey, listen, hey, Jose, don't get it twisted. Now check us out. They wasn't feeling it at first.
Yeah,
they wasn't. They was like, "Yo, man, what you doing?" I said, "Hold up, relax. Trust me, it's gonna change the atmosphere." And look, the first time they was like, "Man, cut that off." I said, "Oh, relax. It's gonna change the atmosphere." And guess what? It has changed the atmosphere. People hugging, saying good morning. And you're gonna have your problems, but guess what? It changes the atmosphere every day. When I'm not there, they tell me, they say, "Oh yeah, it's different when you're not there." Yeah, because guess what? That's what I want to do is change the atmosphere. And you know what? It's all about love. Guess what? No matter you don't sleep with that person. Guess what? Good morning. How you doing?
Right.
When people come in the kitchen that don't work in the department, I'll be like, "Hey, excuse me, you ain't say good morning to nobody. What's going on?" You gotta say good morning. They could, and I wish they would get upset. I said, listen, you came in here and didn't say good morning. You're bugging.
Right.
Get mad all you want. Guess what? Because guess what? They got nothing to stand on. You come in the kitchen and don't say good morning. Nah, get out of here. Go on somewhere. Come back.
Don't sound very unconditional.
Why don't it? You come on. You come in. You look.
They gotta come and say good morning.
And look, man, check us out. And then
they play Kendrick Lamar and see what happens.
Look, they got the nerve to ask you something. Oh, can you make something for me? What? And you didn't say good morning? Go out the kitchen, come back, say good morning. Not just to me, to everybody.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm glad I work with you.
But
I
say
just
no
go back there and start cooking. I wouldn't even ask you no more.
Yeah, you won't be coming back there, definitely. Late you said no, but watch this. See, that's the environment. You have to look. You want that type of environment because guess what? Hold on. Now Now I've experienced this. I could do this. You come in the kitchen and you bring my morale down. Now I feel some type of way because you didn't come and say good morning. Now you have upset me because you didn't even acknowledge me to come in there, and then you want to ask me to do something, make something for you. No, I don't think so.
But that's your job. But that's your job.
Right.
Your job is to make something for me, not to
morale.
tell me.
And guess what?
Yeah, not to tell me what.
Hey,
that's why I don't have those problems. Bad my upbringing was.
That's why I don't have those problems. I'd be like, listen, hey. They say, okay, yes, Chef Dennis. All right. Yeah, why not? Why not?
You wouldn't be with me.
Sound like a tyrant to me.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be with you?
We can't listen to music. We gotta say good morning.
You gotta put a smile on your face.
Yeah. Hey, Jose, I'm like that. Yeah,
you gotta hug everybody. You gotta be able to say that a tunnel it does not go underwater.
Work.
Hold on, wait a minute. Look, it's something that you look.
You broke up the tunnel.
Hey,
tunnels don't go underwater. I mean, what else we gotta do?
Wait a minute.
All they want is oatmeal. You ain't even really cooking that.
Who don't? I cook everything in the kitchen.
I'm saying all I wanted was oatmeal.
I can hear y'all. Just give me 30 seconds.
All right. Look, AT, you say you with me, but listen, I start the tone. I set the tone. You know what I'm saying? I set the tone.
You set the tyranny.
Nah, the tone, man.
I agree.
Hey, if you was in the kitchen with me, and guess what? You seen some of the attitudes that be flying, and it changes. You be like, yeah, we gonna need that. Trust me, you gonna need it. You got. I deal. Look, I don't know about you or Rodney. I deal with them more than I deal with my family. Are you bugging? I'm gonna sit there and nah, we gonna have look.
Everybody in the comments say good evening to Chef Dennis before you say anything, or else he won't acknowledge you no more.
Hey, listen, hey, Rodney.
Yes, sir.
You gonna be like that as you grow. The same thing. You gonna be like, hold on,
probably not.
Yes, he is. As he grow and as he gets stronger in his walk,
different than you though.
What you mean? Hold on, this a man who don't hold his tongue. You bugging? He gonna be able to say, listen. Hold on, guys.
He just told you he has vulnerability. He can't do the vulnerability thing.
That's gonna change. That's gonna change in his growth.
Everybody's gonna be like you. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, when I go into work, I say good morning to everybody, but they ain't gotta say it to me. If they don't say it back, I keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna sit there and there you go.
No,
I'm trying to make sure they're gonna get noticed in here. That's crazy work.
Look, guess
crazy
what?
work.
That's
say no to me. I ain't gonna do my job unless you say good morning. Nah,
and that's why I'm walking in my purpose. I don't have, in the beginning it was an issue, but then as time went on, you know what I'm saying? It changed. It changed the atmosphere. The people in it changed, and that's the purpose of me doing what I'm doing. And guess what? They don't get mad. They don't get upset. They acknowledge. They say, you know what? He right. It's not about me being a tyranny or not. Like it's about I'm right.
You're setting the standard, man.
Yeah, you like come on, T. You gonna come in? That's like you going in the room. Look, it's 5 people in the room. You walk in the room and sit down and don't say nothing. Come on now, that's rude.
That's like family to me. You walk in and just don't say nothing sometimes. It's nothing wrong with silence. You don't have to always acknowledge everything and everybody.
That's
the thing. It's but that's not disrespectful. You just look at them and smile, or you look at them and nod your head and be like, this is a moment of silence. Sometimes you need silence.
Are you deaf?
If I'm at work,
are you blind?
Yeah,
are you blind? Are you deaf? No.
If I'm at work and you not paying me, I ain't gotta acknowledge you. That's how I look at it. Unless you got my paycheck in your hand, that's the only way.
Hey, Rodney, that's why God don't have me and you working together. Because guess what? I will be right there next to you and say, "Yo, Rodney, what's up? You look. Don't worry. I got this. I got people at the job that refuse to smile. I do have that. I'll be like, "Yo, why you got a wrinkle in your face?" Oh, you know what I'm going through. I said, hold up, pump your brakes. I just said, listen, I'm just inviting a good spirit. That's it.
Somebody gonna bite your head
off. Hey, listen, we at war. We at war. Now, let me go to the next question, man.
Chef Dennis is the work snitch. I already know it. So that's why they say good morning. You know what I'm saying? They just don't want to have to deal with HR. So they like, all right, good morning. Can I get my grits now?
That's not even in biblical. So it ain't no snitching over here. Ain't happening.
No, he came in here and ruined the environment of the kitchen. Look.
Hey, Rod, it's crazy that you say that. You know why? Hey, Jose, let me tell you. Oh my God. Hey, listen. When I tell you I'm tested with this, I'm tested. Yeah. I promise you I am. Trust me.
I would test you. So I believe
it's one guy at the job. He's like Indian, and he do not like when I play my gospel. He get mad, he throw stuff, and I'm like, well, listen. So guess what? You gonna love it, and that's gonna be
it. He just manifesting. That's all.
That's it. I said he's going. Hey,
manifested.
That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be that. And guess what? He get over it. Ain't nothing he can do.
Think about it. Why does somebody feel so antagonized by that way? It's spiritual.
Of course it is. Of course. God. Hey, somebody said God be snitching too. Telling pastors, prophets, and family members. You ain't right. You ain't right.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. One time I told my pastor, I was like, "Come on, man, you ain't had to make the whole sermon about me." He had to be the whole sermon. That was unnecessary.
Oh, look, somebody said, "Chef, be like,
did not have to be.
Boss. He ain't saying good morning. Can you suspend him again, please?"
There you go.
But hold on. I thought he said something else. But listen, my executive chef. He knows to say good morning. I say, hey, he my boss. I be like, oh man, yo, You ain't say good morning. Oh, hey, good morning. He'd be like, this is what he said. His response be like, good morning, Jesus. I say, yo, look, cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
But he acknowledged, though. That's the late T. That's the good thing. No matter what, he acknowledged what's going on. He know he's like, oh, he in his church mode. Yeah, okay, there he is. That's it. You're gonna either accept it or don't, because guess what? Why do I have to accept your lifestyle and what you do in your life?
Your lifestyle. They come to work. They come in work to do their job.
What's bad, Lady T? Somebody gonna be listening to this job. It's gonna be some smoke the ball.
Hey, no, it ain't. Trust me, no, it's not. No, ain't gonna be no smoke at all.
He's gonna come in there. All the Christian channels gonna be erased.
All right, we go to these last couple questions, man.
All right,
he said, "Yo, silence the noise in your mind, Lord." What's that? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Silence the noise in my mind, Lord.
Who's going first?
Let's go, Jose. Come on. Silence the noise in my mind, Lord.
Things thoughts that go against your belief system, thoughts that come against your morals, your character, right? So you know them, you hear them, right? And so it's kind of silence that. A scripture to that is cast down every thought and imagination that exalts itself over God, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what it is, and that's how you become fully aware as a believer. Things that shouldn't be in there, right? Cast it out, Lord. Silence my mind. He gave us a sound mind, right? So you can kind of replace that with that. Give me the sound mind that you created in me. And I tell you this, man. I'll be honest, and a lot of people don't like to hear this. This is all on us. The reason why you hearing them thing or had them thoughts is because what you indulging in, huh? Paul said that there's two waging war in us: the flesh and the spirit, and they're contrary to each other. So the one who's going to win is the one you feed.
I agree.
I know. I feel like I was supposed to keep going there.
Nah, Roddy
was, but
I thought you was too. But Roddy, go with how you silence the noise in your mind, Lord.
I mean,
why'd you say it like that though?
If you can't, I don't know what's going on there.
Noise in your mind, right?
You trying to be theatrical or something? I don't understand it, but you know,
yo, Roddy.
I mean, I'm trying. I hear you, Jose, but you know, hey, look, I'm constantly at battle with silence and silencing the thing that's going on in my head, and maybe it's just my, you know, I don't know. I if you can't tell, I got a sarcastic personality. I'm very aggressive. You know, all those things that makes it a constant battle. But I mean, like I said, it's really not that much of a battle, because you know, because it's really who I am. You know what I'm saying? But we've created these defense mechanisms. We've created these things because of the things that have happened in our past that you know, automatically click when things aren't going right. You know, when somebody says something rude to you, the first your defense mechanism to curse them out, to say this, to do that. You know what I'm saying? And reality is actually easier. You know what I'm saying? It's actually easier. It can, and I'm just saying for me personally, because sometimes it can be difficult. Sometimes it can be difficult to just, you know, let it go or move on or not be a part of it. It's real easy just to say, you know, whatever it is that your flesh is telling you to say, because a lot of times it's harder to have the difficult conversation. You know what I'm saying? Even with the person that you love or whatever the case may be, to be calm and actually break it down and go, well, why did you say that? Why do you feel that? When the real easy answer is blank. You know what I'm saying? And move on. But, you know, to really sit there and have those conversations, it can be difficult because they're not easy ones to have. And a lot of times they're not even your problem. You know, that person is having that issue, that battle. They need to work it with themselves. But you're there and you have to deal with it or help them or move them into the right place, or then show them, like I said, my old job, every day I came in there and said, I'm not going to let anybody take me out of my spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I would tell people, and people would test. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to see that old rod. They want to see. They're like, nah, I know it. Let me keep on. Let me do this, and they would test me. And you know, it's really it can be difficult. The easy thing is to just let the flesh and go do whatever you want. You know, so I think I answered the question. I'm not sure. Sometimes I don't know. I'll be losing these questions because the questions be so broad. I mean, I got to get Chef Dennis to narrow them down a little bit. But you know, he's the interviewer. I'm the interviewee. I just do my best.
Lady, yeah, this guy.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, say the question one more time so I make sure I understand.
I said, silence the noise in your mind, Lord. What does that mean to you?
Okay. And both of you guys said exactly the same thing that I feel, you know, piggyback on what you both said. You know, it's basically recognizing, you know, yourself, recognizing your voice, the voice that you're hearing. We take captive the thought, every thought, to make it obedient to Christ, something like that. It's a scripture, you know, you have to take your thoughts and truly, you know, make it as it's supposed to be, you know, bringing light to it, bring truth to it, recognizing, is the thought fear? Is it shame? Is it overthinking? Is it people pleasing? Is this my voice? Is this someone else's voice? Is it the truth? Is it a lie? Awareness of what your thoughts are, and then really bringing light, Jesus's light of what he said it is, to those thoughts. So yeah, I'm basically picking back on what both of them said.
There we go. Now Chef Dennis will completely change the question and go on a whole different tangent that is different than what we even knew, because we didn't understand the question in his eyes. So there we go.
Right.
So when I asked you this question, see, this is what I like. This is what I like to see y'all laughing. That's what I'm talking about. But no, when I asked you, I just wanted to know what you thought. Now, the reason why I asked that question is because that is a title of a song, and it's touching because it says, "Silence the noise in my mind, Lord. Open my heart." And so you think all the things that's cluttered in your mind that get you distracted of what your task is at hand, you got to silence that, take it out, remove that. That's what you know. I'm saying remove that, because guess what? We all are distracted at some point in life. We all are distracted, and so God says to silence the noise, the distraction that's going on. Doesn't mean that's got to be negative. It's still something that's distracting you, and so silence that so you could be focused on what God has for you at that moment, at that task, on that journey. You know, you got to remove those things, and that's why I just wanted to, you know, ask you guys that. You know, wasn't nothing major, because I see it totally different. You know, when I say silence the noise in my head, because now I want to be focused on what God has for me at that moment. All right, it's the last question, man. Why does God give his strongest soldiers the biggest battles?
A great purpose.
Oh,
There's a great purpose.
That's your answer?
That's my answer. There's a great purpose. There's a great purpose. You know, if it's something that's very heavy burden for a person, there's something grand that God wants to use them and show the world something. And unfortunately, suffering has to happen a lot of times. People have to go through a lot of suffering, you know, and they have to have a story, and they have to be able to communicate, well, this is what happened to me and God brought me through, and look where I am now. You know, we used to look at a lot of celebrities and see what they do. And, you know, we used to be impressed by celebrities and things like that. Well, spiritual way of, you know, being a person that is walking the spiritual way should be looked at and revered the same way as a celebrity, but they're not. But there's a purpose in it, you know, and God is like saying, I'm going to hide it, but it's going to be grand. So that's what I think. I just got my answer out quick.
Okay. What about you, Rodney?
Ask me the question one more time.
Why does God gives his strongest soldiers the biggest battles?
I think everybody's built different. You know what I'm saying? Number one, and number two, that there's different roles. You know what I'm saying, for everyone in this battle. Everybody ain't the same. You know, they can't. Everybody can't be David. You know,
Right.
everybody can't be Moses. You know, it was a lot of other people that followed him. You know, that still had their part in the whole thing. But you know, all those things we hope in life that we learn what God's purpose is for us and we accomplish it and do it to his glory to the best of our ability. But some of us got some tasks that all of us can't be Marines. You know what I'm saying? There's
No,
got to
yeah.
be somebody. There's got to be somebody fueling the jet planes. There's got to be somebody doing that or whatever in this war. So I mean, everything is built different, and I just feel that you have to go through the journey to get to where God wants to be. Because I mean, you gotta look at it this way. If I hadn't been through the things that I've been through, then when God tells me that I just have to follow, like I don't even know where I'm going. I gotta just follow. Don't even. I'm not even. And the sad thing about it is, I was talking. I don't even know if it was. I think it was on the show or no. It was another. It was on one of my shows though, where we talked about that. That if God told us where He was going to take us, then a lot of us wouldn't go. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just gotta be. You gotta be blind follow. I just said if I had told myself 2 years ago where I'd be now, my 2 year ago Rodney would have said, "There's no way." Like no way. Like it's not even, that's not even on my radar. I'm gonna quit my job that I'm making all this money. What? I'm gonna do this and go, and then I'm gonna go work for who? There's no way. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. And if God had told me that, it probably would have took me longer. You know what I'm saying? It probably would have took me longer to finally decide to do it if I had known where I was going. So there you go.
Well, mine's quick and sweet and short. Is that what happened to Ronnie? He lost connection. He'll be back. Mine would be the biggest. God never puts more on you than you can bear, and so he's the strongest soldiers. They are equipped for the battles that he has prepared for that individual. There are pastors, there are ministers, teachers. That is their task. They have to endure what the task consists of for them. And so God was building up you for that task and that journey. And so, like I said, the strongest soldiers will go through the biggest battles because they have the biggest task. And God will prepare you for that journey. That's what being a minister is not the same as being a pastor.
All
It's
right.
not the same as being evangelist.
All right.
It's different. They have different tasks. And their mission is to glorify God, but each one of them have a different task. When you talk about discipleship, it comes with a great task of teaching individuals how to be discipled. When you talk about stewardship, it takes a lot to be able to steward people into Christ. Not even Christ, God, as men, as husbands, our greatest task is our family. And I'm talking about our children and our wives. Because God says it. If you can't steward your family, how can you steward someone else? So it's our greatest task to be able to steward our family, because guess what? It starts there. It starts in the home. And so when you be able to go out and speak to others, guess what? You got to show a strong front for your family. And guess what? And they have to follow you to a point of not saying that he is my leader. It's not about that. It's about in alignment with what God has for you. And so that's why God gives his strongest soldiers the biggest battles. And wow, someone I just never seen before. It says,
What about you, Jose? Did you answer the question?
No, I didn't. But I'll say this: what I
Yeah.
love about the question is it's plural with battles, right? So I think God would allow us to battle because He couldn't trust us to continue to walk out the faith. A lot of our battle scars are to be relatable and transparent to others. Because we gotta remember how God moves and operates. It's never about you, and would never be about you. And I think once we come to that realization that what He's doing in us and through us will always be for others, right? It's never to prop us up. It's never to take custody community and say this is Jose Villanueva is doing. That's not the case. The case, as CD just mentioned, is to glorify God, right? And I think that's where the battles and the victories are won, because souls are coming to Christ through that entrustment of us saying, I'm gonna lay down my life for you as you did for me, right? And I think most of that has come from just acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm about to go live here on YouTube, y'all. Y'all got me going. It'll be my first live. It'll be my first live on YouTube, but
let us know. I'll follow.
Yeah.
What's your
Custody
page
to
on-
community.
Oh, custody community. Gotta check
Yeah.
that out, Roddy. I'm
I'm
already locked in.
already following them, dog. You sent
That's
the
on
TikTok to us.
That's
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah, that's you. Did you get it, Lady T?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That so that's what I try to do, man. And listen, I told you we was on fire. Look,
Yeah.
this was definitely a treat for the viewers, and I seen a lot of new faces, and that's wonderful. Listen, I want you guys to be encouraged. Always check out my brother Dad Mentality
Yes,
on
sir.
Instagram, on
Appreciate
Facebook.
what you doing, Rodney. Go get him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hey Jose, you gotta go check him out. He'll
Yeah.
have you over there too, man. Listen, I know he will. Listen, you definitely gotta come and check him out. And listen, we are always here Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 6:30. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like, and spread the message. And by the way, Jose, I definitely was going to send you some reels and shorts on this podcast right here, as well as I'm gonna send some other things to you. And listen, we definitely gonna have you again. It was a pleasure. And listen, I'm serious. I'm gonna stay in I got your phone number, so I'm definitely gonna stay in contact with you. And so we have something coming up, and I like your spirit. I like how you do things and how you carrying the message out there on the social media. So what we're going to be doing is getting a couple of our previous guests get together, and we're gonna have everybody on the platform. We're gonna talk, we'll have a deep conversation. Don't know how long it's gonna be, but we definitely going to have that in the works, because a lot of people contact me and always touching me and blessing me and encouraging me. So I want to be an encourage to others as well, even in their journey, what's going on in their life. I really don't like to get into their personal life unless they expose it to us. So I like to keep it personal and up front, but I'm definitely going to keep in touch with you. And listen, God's going to continue working in your life and your family. And I want you to understand that this walk is not easy, but it's worth it.
Yes, sir.
And so definitely be encouraged and keep on doing the work that God has for you. And that's going to conclude our show. We will see you guys next week. Hold on, Jose.
Nice meeting y'all. Appreciate it.
Right.
Take care, y'all.
Bro.
All right.